Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Fabulous Concert Programs number 117. Let me look. Oh, yeah, number 117, and the conclusion of our Glazunov Cycle. This is number 10 in the Glazunov cycles. I mean, there can be more Glazunov. We'll work it in elsewhere because there's so much fabulous orchestral music that he wrote. I mean, really a lot. Really juicy stuff. And it'd be wonderful to talk about it. But for the moment, we're concluding with his last symphony, and it's an all Glazunov program, which means it is definitely something you'll never see in real life, at least not outside of Russia, and probably not so often there either. But, this is an interesting program because it allows you to prove to yourself, or to the universe at large, that the man was actually worthy of getting a whole program to himself. His music sustains your interest in its color, its melodic fecundity, and range and variety. It's all there. It's all there, and it's all marvelous. Well, not everything he wrote, but yes, this program is all marvelous. So we begin with his suite From the Middle Ages. This was composed just after the turn of the 20th century, and it's just lovely. It's a mini symphony, actually. It's in 4 movements: a prelude, a zippy scherzo, a troubadour's song, which is where the Middle Ages thing comes from. I mean, you'd never know otherwise. It's just wonderful, colorful music, and a zippy finale. And it's all absolutely lovely, and it makes a wonderful concert opener. It's really ear-catching. I mean, it's full of really characteristic and marvelous tunes, and very, very well orchestrated, because everything Glazunov wrote is fantastically well orchestrated, beautifully written for the ensemble. And so that's how we begin. Then, this is really interesting, his first piano concerto. Now, the first piano concerto has a fabulous form, a sonata allegro followed by a theme and variations finale. Now, this is similar to many other works that we see. There's the Tchaikovsky Trio with that sort of similar form, and then there's Prokofiev's Second Symphony, and Zhiminovsky's, I think his Second Symphony does that. Yeah, his second. And it's all kind of loosely based on Beethoven's piano sonatas, the late ones, the one that has the variation finale after the sonata allegro first movement. I never remember opus numbers or numbers of these things, so don't get on my case too badly because of it. But we know which one it is. It's in very, very interesting and unusual form. But the really nifty thing about it, my way, is not just that. It lasts about half an hour. The opening movement is full of gorgeous writing for the solo and orchestra, but the variations are based on a tune, really a little 4-note motive, da 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 da, that Rachmaninoff must have known. He must have known it because it shows up all over the place in Rachmaninoff's music. And when you listen to this piano concerto, if you think, Rachmaninoff, you really are going to know where he got quite a bit of his style from. One of the things about Rachmaninoff and Glazunov is that they're supposed to hate each other, or at least have nothing to do with each other, because Glazunov botched the premiere of Rachmaninoff's First Symphony. And so because of that biographical detail, and because Rachmaninoff had a nervous breakdown and all this other stuff happened, the idea was that there couldn't possibly be anything similar between them. But, it's so not true. And if you listen to this piano concerto, you'll note that right away. So after the piano concerto, we have intermission, and we come back with Glazunov's Last Symphony. Now, Glazunov's Eighth Symphony is a very, very interesting work in many, many respects. It's not his most tuneful symphony. It's working along slightly different aesthetic lines. It shows him exploring new horizons. But of course, when you're a composer like Glazunov, who's usually disrespected and considered sort of a second-rater, when he's doing something different, it's usually considered a failure. In other words, what he did originally was a failure for a variety of reasons, but then when he tries to do something else, that's even more of a failure because it's not like the other stuff he did, which was a failure anyway. Does that make any sense? it's a no-win situation for some of these composers, and Glazunov is really one of them. The Eighth Symphony is marvelous. It's written for the largest orchestra he ever used in a symphony. You've got all the woodwind accessories. You've got piccolos and English horns and bass clarinets and some extra percussion stuff going on in various spots. And the thing that's really, really cool about it is his handling of the wind section, this enlarged wind section, and percussion and whatnot. I mean, the very opening has the timpani going boom, 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 it's a solo after the opening chord. I mean, the very opening notes, the sound is unusual. The principal theme is announced by the horn, followed by solo trumpet, instead of your usual, tune in the strings or maybe some woodwinds or whatnot. I mean, he's exploring instrumental color. And this piece was written about the same time as From the Middle Ages, a few years later, I think around 1906. It's really quite a fascinating work, a beautiful work, and it ends with a bang, so that it really makes a fantastic conclusion to this Glazunov cycle. And I really would like you to, if you can, to listen to the program as it's listed, and one work at a time, and whatever you have the moments to do it, because I think you're going to be really impressed. I mean, this is really worthwhile, interesting music that rewards your time and attention. And I mean, the piano concerto is such a find. There's so many beautiful moments in all three of these works, and bits that sound like nobody else. I think you'll find this to be a worthy conclusion to our series of chats about Glazunov, his symphonies, and other works. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this pilgrimage. I think it's been a lot of fun, and I've gotten a lot out of it because it gives me a chance to re-listen to all of this material, and in the hopes of saying something that's not too stupid about it. So take care, and we'll see you for the next round of whatever it's going to be in Fabulous Concert Programs, a series that, I mean, I don't anticipate ending it anytime soon, and I hope you will continue to enjoy it. Take care.